So I want to talk about how nothing really comes for free. When we sell ourselves, it is a very high price to pay every time you have a financial currency exchange with someone. You share a portion of yourself and combine karma with them. Every time you string a man along or a woman to desire you and focus on you energetically, you carry some of their masculinity or their femininity, however toxic, corrupted, contaminated it is, inside of your femininity field or your masculinity field, and it lowers your vibration and wellness and ability to build real intimacy with someone else who you actually love and respect and have meaningful relationships and fun with. It seems you're losing a lot more in the long run than you're gaining. And this is the idea of earning slowly, because rushing a friendship never works. It's not like a fast food menu. If you think you make true friends that fast, you also throw people away that fast. I don't see that trying to pretend intimacy is stronger than it's worth my time or energy. When someone pretends they're close to me and even convinces themselves and they only have sincere noble intentions, it's a dead giveaway that they want to use me in their role-playing patterns to project onto the scapegoat or to complete them, or that they're misleading me in some way so they can dissociate and distract themselves from their meaninglessness and their emptiness of their inner emotions or desperation. And worst of all, they want to sabotage myself so that they can get their temporary fix of like the power. Moving on, I want to talk about what about recovery, right? So we have ACA, which is Adult Children of Alcoholics, or it's also called ACOA, Adult Children of Alcoholics. But actually, this is a program for anybody who's feels they grew up in a dysfunctional home. It doesn't mean your parents don't have to be alcoholics. So this is called the laundry list. We're gonna have two lists here. One is called the laundry list, and one is called the other laundry list. Then we're gonna read the flip side of the laundry list and the flip side of the other laundry list. And all of these are from ACOA. We'll see what we covered today. And yeah, here we go. Okay, so these are characteristics we seem to have in common due to being brought up in an alcoholic or dysfunctional household. We become isolated and afraid of people and authority figures. We become approval seekers and lost our identity in the process. We're frightened by angry people and any personal criticism. And we either become alcoholics, marry them, or both, or find another compulsive personality, such as a workaholic, to fill our sick abandonment needs. We live from a viewpoint of victims and are attracted by that weakness in our love and friendship relationships. We have an overdeveloped sense of responsibility, and it's easier for us to be concerned with others rather than ourselves. This enables us to not look too closely at our faults. We get guilt feelings when we stand up for ourselves instead of giving in to others. We become addicted to excitement. We confuse love with pity and tend to love people who we can pity and rescue. We have stuffed our feelings from our traumatic childhood and have lost the ability to express our feelings because it hurts so much, in denial. We judge ourselves harshly and have a very low sense of self-esteem. We are dependent personalities who are terrified of abandonment and will do anything to hold on to a relationship in order not to experience painful abandonment feelings which we receive from living with sick people who are never there emotionally for us. Alcoholism or dysfunction is a family disease, and we become para-alcoholics or also dysfunctional and took on the characteristics of the disease even though we didn't pick up the drink. Para-alcoholics are reactors rather than actors. These are co-addicts. The other laundry list. This is like the other side. To cover our fear of people and our dread of isolation, we tragically became the very authority figures who frighten others and cause them to withdraw. To avoid becoming enmeshed and entangled with other people and losing ourselves in the process, we become rigidly self-sufficient. We disdain the approval of others. We frighten people with our anger and threat of belittling criticism, and we dominate others and abandon them before they can abandon us. Or we avoid relationships with dependent people altogether. To avoid being hurt, we isolate. To avoid being hurt, we isolate and dissociate and thereby abandon ourselves. We live life from the standpoint of a victimizer and are attracted to people we can manipulate and control in our important relationships. We're irresponsible and self-centered, and our inflated sense of self-worth and self-importance prevents us from seeing our deficiencies and shortcomings. We make others feel guilty when they attempt to assert themselves. We inhibit our fear by staying deadened and numb, and we hate people who play the victim and beg to be rescued. We deny that we've been hurt and are suppressing our emotions by the dramatic expression of pseudo feelings. To protect ourselves from self-punishment for failing to save the family, we project our self-hate onto others and punish them instead. We manage the massive amounts of deprivation we feel coming from abandonment within the home by quickly letting go of relationships that threaten our independence. We don't want to get too close. We refuse to admit we've been affected by family dysfunction, or that there was dysfunction in the home, or that we have internalized any of the family's destructive attitudes and behaviors. We act as if we are nothing like the dependent people who raised us. Now we're going to pause for a second before we move to the other side of both sides of this. So these are two sides of one coin. As the victim or the victimizer. We become what was done to us or what was done to us. It depends where we are in our journey and how we've coped. The flip side of the first laundry list. We move out of isolation and are not unrealistically afraid of other people, even authority figures. We do not depend on others to tell us who we are. We are not automatically frightened of angry people and no longer regard personal criticism as a threat. We don't have a compulsive need to recreate abandonment, and we stop living life from a standpoint of victims, and we are not attracted by this trait in our important relationships. We do not use enabling as a way to avoid looking at our own shortcomings. We don't feel guilty when we stand up for ourselves. We avoid emotional intoxication and choose workable relationships instead of constant upset. We're able to distinguish love from pity and don't think rescuing people we pity is an act of love. We come out of denial about our traumatic childhoods and regain the ability to feel and express our emotions. We stop judging and condemning ourselves and discover a sense of self-worth. We grow in independence and are no longer terrified of abandonment. We have interdependent relationships with healthy people, not dependent relationships with people who are emotionally unavailable. The characteristics of alcoholism and para-alcoholism